Do you want to know a secret? The difference between a good dish and a great dish is often a splash of vinegar, which is why cuisines around the world and cooks around the world rely on vinegar. Now, there are 28 vinegars that we tasted. Today I'm going to talk mostly about Asian vinegars, but let me explain everything here on the table is made pretty much the same way. You begin with an ingredient rich in starches or sugars, so a grain or a fruit. The yeast will convert those sugars into alcohol, and then a naturally occurring bacteria, Acetobacter, will turn it into acetic acid. That's the thing that we call vinegar. Before we move over and talk about the vinegars here on the table, let me just explain where some of these vinegars come from in terms of the source ingredients. So distilled vinegars, which is often used in pickling, usually made with corn or barley. Malt vinegar, if you love your chips in England, that comes from barley. All of the wine vinegars, balsamic vinegar, of course, comes from grapes. And then last but not least, cider vinegar, which of course begins with apples. Now I'm going to move down here to the end of the table, and I've got a Japanese rice vinegar here. Now, probably the most important thing when you're shopping is to make sure you read the label and see the difference between seasoned and unseasoned. Typically, seasoned vinegars are going to be made with salt and sugar, and as you might imagine, give you a very different end result than an unseasoned vinegar. This Japanese vinegar is pretty low in acidity, so most vinegars will be in the 4 to 7% range. This is typically in the 5% range. So it's tart, but it's not incredibly sour. Next up, I have 2 Chinese black vinegars. Now, in addition to rice, they're made with other grains, typically wheat and other ingredients, and so you get a much deeper color. The first one here is zhenjiang, is really great with noodle dishes or stir fries. It has a woodsy, almost inside the barrel flavor that I absolutely adore. Next up, I've got the baoning. Now this is aged 10 years, so this is really fine vinegar. Think of this as a finishing vinegar. It's got notes of cocoa and prunes. It's made with herbs in addition to the grains, and so it's just super complex. Save it for cold dishes. I love it in a smashed cucumber salad, so you can really appreciate the complexity of this vinegar. We're going to move to the Philippines, and we've got 2 sugarcane vinegars. Now these are called sukang maasam, and they can be either plain or spiced. The plain, as you might imagine, is basically standard vinegar. It's used in adobo, the Filipino dish. The spiced version has other ingredients, onions, maybe chilies, garlic, ginger. This one really tastes a lot like chilies and is designed for cutting through rich foods. Think about serving this in a dipping sauce with lumpia, the crispy egg rolls made in the Philippines. Lastly, we've got coconut vinegars made with coconut water or coconut sap. They're called suka pinukarat sasawan an bayan. Same thing, these come from the Philippines. There's a plain version, which is kind of neutral, and then there's a spiced version. This one here reminds me of a lot of ginger and chili notes coming through because those are ingredients used to spice the vinegar. The plain version's, again, a good choice for adobo, and the spiced one is probably better with rich foods. Think about serving this with a Filipino-style roast suckling pig. Now, you don't need to have all 28 vinegars in your pantry. I probably have a dozen vinegars at home, but it's nice to have the vinegar from the cuisine that you're cooking because they are really different and it will make your food that much more delicious.
For full episodes of your favorite cooking shows, head over to ATK's Full Episodes channel on YouTube. You can stream complete seasons of America's Test Kitchen, Cook's Country, and more. See you there.